Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Who knew that G.I. Joe, a real American hero, issue number 21 facsimile issue, reprint from Marvel back in the day, would be one of my favorite comics that came out this week. Can't wait to share it with you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. So I have to say, uh, Image must have the G.I. Joe license now. It hops around. It was famously done for a long time at Marvel during the time that they had the cartoon and the toy line. And I was a huge fan of the toys and the cartoon, but never really read the comic that much. It was more my brother's jam. I had to get the sketch cover. I was on the fence about getting this. I almost didn't get it. And then it had a blank cover, and I've been threatening to do covers. And I kind of want to do Scarlet from G.I. Joe. So it was like a no brainer. And it was only $3.99. Little did I know how amazing, awesome, and cool this would be. Stanley presents Silent Interlude. Larry Hama, story and breakdowns. Steve Leialoha finishes. George Russo's coloring. Denny O'Neil, editor. Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. I was like, what in the hell? How can you not give the letterer credit? And then I realized why there is no credit for the letterer. And you're going to find out too. So, this Larry Hama is legend, whatever. I feel like my biggest exposure to Larry Hama was like his run on Wolverine with Mark Silvestri, and I loved that. So I kind of missed the boat on G.I. Joe, and now I'm kind of sad because it's totally amazing. In the back, he tells the story about how they had to get an issue of G.I. Joe done in 2 weeks. And Larry Hama very smartly told Jim Shooter, he said, okay, the only way we're going to do this is I'm going to write and lay it out. We're not going to letter it because that takes a week. And then I'll write it as I'm drawing it. Steve Leialoha will finish it, and George Russo will color it as the pages come into the office. And they got it done in 2 weeks. And what was supposed to be like a big hack like job, he said he laid it out and wrote it in 3 days. Steve Leialoha finished it rather quickly. George Russo's colored it by hook or by crook. They got it done. And he said to this day, like, people come up to him at conventions handing him tattered, worn, read, loved copies of this book, saying it was their favorite book, wordlessly written, showed them how amazing comics could be. They were some people were dyslexic, and they realized that they could read a comic book story and understand what was going on without words. And that is actually one of the things that I say. And not only do you have to know how to draw everything in comics, you have to be able to tell a story. And if you're making samples to send to Marvel, you really want 3 to 5 pages of sequential storytelling. And within those storytelling, the reader should be able to understand what's going on without words. And it isn't as easy as you would think. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, like post-image art revolution, where backgrounds and exposition establishing shots aren't always, utilized to the best advantage. And some things are just written and, so this like is a true testament of how amazing these storytellers are. I knew that Larry Hama was a penciler, and I knew he did it from time to time, but I don't think I've ever seen it before. I love Steve Leialoha, famous for Coyote, I think, and also I loved his stint on New Mutants and his X-Men annual. That's what I love. And of course, his work on Spider-Man, Woman, is legendary as well. But you can absolutely tell what's going on. I mean, the bad guy is swooping in here on this hang glider. He has like this hostage with him, flips her out on the table to reveal that is Scarlet. I love this so much. Cobra, like one of the best villains ever. This is just so fun and deliciously G.I. Joe. I love the texture and beauty of Steve Leialoha's inks. So amazing, so gorgeous. Such a like underrated comic book artist, but very beloved for people who know his work, I'm sure. Like, this is just so much fun. It's so funny too because one of my laments about reading old comics is sometimes they're so overly written. So imagine my glee and delight when I realized I just had to look through the beautiful choreography, storytelling. Why don't I just turn the pages and you tell me if you can see what's going on? But of course you can see what's going on. It's pretty straightforward. And it's so funny. I love a good silent issue. Destro, of course, one of the greatest designs ever. I think Baroness, Destro, and Scarlet stand out as like the main G.I. Joe, like, great characters, right? But there are so many good ones. I mean, when I was super young, I had like the 12-inch G.I. Joe with the fuzzy hair and no clothes, of course. Like, where did his clothes go? I don't know. He was always doing something crazy. But anyway, and then imagine our surprise when G.I. Joe got this downgrade and turned into this little, like, 6-inch action figure. And who knew that he would, like, have this bombastic revolution and still be popular to this day. Too bad that last movie tanked. Like, they need to do, like, a really great G.I. Joe movie, don't they? Or, I mean, did they? I don't know. Does one exist? I don't think so. Anyway, like, so much fun. It's such a part of my childhood, G.I. Joe. I don't know. Distinctly for boys, of course. But, they had, like, Scarlet and Baroness, I guess, to appeal to girls. Because it was a toy line. I mean, even Larry Hama references writing a toy comic book. And he never treated it as such. You know what I mean? And it shows. The reverence and love for G.I. Joe. And it's just so fun. It's just so fun. And who needs words? I wouldn't mind a sound effect, right? But then again, they were saving time. And it is so perfect. I wonder if they ever had, like, if Larry ever had the, like, inclination or desire to, like, want to go and script it for some unknown reason or anything like that. No, he would be a cool person to interview for my channel. Maybe I should slip him a message and see what's up with that. I feel like he has such an amazing, like, interesting career and, like, maybe not always treated right by comics, but definitely always treated comics right with his great storytelling, art, and writing throughout the years. Most notably on G.I. Joe and Wolverine, probably. And this is where he tells the amazing story of how this book came about. And I never knew about this. It is so cool. And I'm so glad I know about it now. And I'm so glad I could bring it to you guys. And I definitely think it's worth picking up, especially if you're an artist yourself and a connoisseur of great comic book storytelling. It's very just interesting to look at this and watch them pull off such a great, fun, classic G.I. Joe story that lives to this day. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 21, Facsimile Edition. Originally printed by Marvel in, I would have to say, the 80s. I know it's in here somewhere, but I'm not going to languish as I try to read this tiny, tiny indicia. I kind of do wish it had, like, that is my complaint. Even though it's a blank cover, you should still have the regular cover inside image. Take note. Other companies do that, okay? So that's my only complaint. I love this issue. It is so fun, so cool. Anyway, thanks, guys, for watching, and I will bring you more soon. Take care.